welcome back to the Breakfast Express on MITV Plus. Thank you for staying tuned. We have a guest on the program. He's joining us via Zoom. I'd like to introduce to you Kevin Moses. He's the Director of Bethel Travels and Career Consulting, Lagos. It's nice to have you, Kevin. Are you there? All right, Kevin, first question. How did Bethel Travels and Career Consulting come about? Can you tell us, how all of this started? Kevin, can you hear me? Hello, Kevin. Hello. Can Kevin hear me? We're using your.
I think we're having difficulty
some technical.
I think it should be from the other end of the conversation.
Okay, from Kevin's end.
Okay, I think we're back on with him now.
Oh,
Mr. Kelvin, can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
Okay, can you hear us now? I think you can. Mr. Kelvin, can you hear us?
Did you hear my first question?
Can you hear me as well?
I was asking how Bethel Travels and Career Consulting came about. What informed that decision to bring this together.
Thank you, first of all, for having me. I hope you can hear me loud and clear. And Bethel Travels and Career Consulting, it was given birth to by my tech company, which I founded and started in London, in the UK. And the company is called Bethel Digitech Limited. So, and right when I was studying my last studies, and then I worked with several companies, and then started this tech company. Along the line, we gave birth to a training facility called Bethel Careers. And during this time, we had so many, people reaching out from across the globe, especially from Nigeria, seeking the opportunity to, get what we have to provide, our services. And then the inspiration come to now help people who live abroad. When I say overseas, means outside the UK, outside of the EU, outside Canada, to help them getting opportunities to the proper way. What's going on right now globally, skill is the main thing that is being sought after. So that's how Bethel Careers, Bethel Travels and Career Consulting. And the reason why the name is Bethel Travels and Career Consulting, it's very, very intentional. It is exactly who the company is or who the business is that the name is Bethel Travel, about traveling, career consulting, people who really, really want to get that job that they qualify for. That's how it came about.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Kelvin. Now that we've understood how the Bethel Travels came up, what exactly do you do? I know that it's a space where a lot of clarity is being needed. People want to have a bigger idea of what you are selling. So what exactly do you do at Bethel Travels?
Four major products, or would I say four major services that we render. And among them is one which we help people who want to get a visa sponsorship job. I'm not talking about somebody who want to go on holiday. Somebody who really want to get a visa sponsorship job in any of the Europe or American countries. When I say Europe, America, including Australia, New Zealand, United Kingdom, Ireland, Canada, and America, all the EU countries. So someone who truly want to get this. And number two, people who want to do what they call self-sponsor. Those who've got businesses and they want to establish overseas, and they're worried about how can they continue what they have in their home country. Then the third one is people who do not have enough money but they have certain assets for us to use as a guarantee that if this company help them and they're able to secure a job overseas by the help of the Better Travels Nigeria. That's number three. The number four is the business we run in London and in all EU countries called Better Careers. People who want to get trained. For example, a banker comes to the UK, you find him doing cleaning job because nobody want to hire a banker who's got experience in Nigeria but does not have experience in the UK. That number four option is the one that will refer you to the UK or Irish company or Canadian company to train you and help you set a job in your field. These are the four major products that Better Travel does.
Thank you very much, Kevin. I need to inform you that we are not we're just using one device, so I can't really hear your responses, but I know when you're speaking, and we're informed that that the viewer out there can hear you loud and clear. So sometimes we may be asking questions that you probably may have said something about. Just go ahead and tell us about it. It's just an opportunity for you to rub it in. So I'm going to ask you now, what is the difference between Bethel Travels and the regular travel agency or visa agencies that operate everywhere? What's your what niche have you carved for yourself? What's your unique selling point? That's really what I want to know.
That's a very good question. The good part. People do not know what consulting is all about when it comes to people who want to maybe travel overseas or secure a job or start a business over abroad in a Western country, especially. They don't know what consulting is. People know who a doctor is when they're sick. They go pay a doctor, to get them checked and maybe get well. People know who a lawyer is. They can, when they have a trouble, people get arrested. They know how to get in touch with the lawyer, and they know they have to pay the lawyer. People know when to pay for groceries when they go to a shop, but people don't know who a travel consultant is. So Better Travels is a travel consultant. And the reason why a lot of people get defrauded across Africa is because they don't know who a travel consultant is. And even when they find a travel consultant, they don't want to pay for the service of consultation. They only want to just pay for a visa. And that's where the scam is coming from. So you don't pay for visas because most of the people who claim to be travel agents, they have no clue about what they're even doing. They're just trying, they call it try and error thing. That's what they're doing. So Better Travels is a group of consultants. We have the mid-level consultants and the senior level consultants, which includes legal practitioners, lawyers, career consultants. The real one that people don't know about when they are looking for a job abroad is called career consultants. And there are so many career consultants across Europe and America. And that is the selling point. And we need to just let people know, if you don't go through a consultant, be very sure that you have a high chance of not only being defrauded, a high chance of being denied a visa, or even when you get to the country where you're going, you have a high chance of being deported after, because you may never know how to settle down in the country because you have been trafficked by someone or assisted by someone who have no clue what exactly they are helping you for. So that's the selling point and the difference between Better Travels, career consulting, and other travel agents. And every time people come to this company, the consultants always said to them, we are not a travel agent. We are a travel and career consulting company.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kelvin Moses. And you said something very important at this point, which is the issue of being scammed or being defrauded. I know that when it comes to issues like this, people are always very skeptical about how they lose money or who they trust with their traveling processes and all of that. But I mean, what do you think people, especially, or why do you think people, especially in Africa, get scammed or get defrauded about visas or travels processes, and how can it be avoided?
Good question. Why people get scammed is because they do not deal with people who are professionals, number one. A travel agent is most likely not to be a professional. He is just looking for ways to survive. People are not supposed to go into jobs because they're looking for money or looking for food to eat. They need to seek a job because they're qualified. And that's the reason why if you look for a job in the UK, for example, or in other EU countries, especially, and all the Western world, they're going to find a means to reach out to your previous employer. And most of the times, people who come to Europe, because I've been a recruiter as well with Better Digital Company in London, and when people come for recruitment, why they don't hire migrants, people who are just newly in the country, is because they don't trust the job you had, you claim you were doing in your home country. They don't trust that you can get a genuine reference. So reference simply means they want to know for how long you've been there, your behaviors, were you doing well, should they hire you from this other employer, and were you being kicked out, were you fired, and all those kind of risk factors. So the travel agents don't have a clue. They are not professionals. So who are supposed to help people facilitate travel opportunities, including work permit, visas, and the rest of them? They are supposed to be travel consultants first, before you now talk about the lawyers. Even those who claim to be legal practitioners who do not have the experience of travel, they are not supposed to help people to travel. All they can do, or they should be doing, is to just complete your visa application as lawyers. So that's why we have in our team, we have the career consultant who is going to help you find a job. If you say you want a visa job, obviously, but even in the UK, with everybody who is looking for a job don't have to be a visa job. Some people, they're looking for a higher paying job. So the reasons and the way to prevent all of these things for Africans, Nigerians who want to get a travel opportunity, maybe job or whatever, is look for a consultant. And if they're not a consultant, you don't have to travel or throw your money away. Why throw your money away just because you're desperate to find your ways overseas? So if you can find a consultant who is being trained, who have what it takes to be a consultant after a conversation, and in fact, pay a consultant. The same way you pay a lawyer, the same way you pay a doctor to give you treatment, pay a consultant, no matter how small or whatever is their charges. Then they can educate you on your opportunities, the skills you have, or the skills you can acquire based on your previous background or studies or experience. Those are the areas that needs to be properly looked into before people go into travel opportunities to avoid being defrauded.
Okay, Kevin, thank you for that explanation. I'd like to the last question, but before that, I would like to ride on the back of the question that my colleague just asked you, or Kwayemi just asked you. Some people, have already been defrauded. They have gotten their fingers burnt. They didn't have good experiences, while dealing with travel consultants, travel agencies, and all of that. Now, how do you distinguish yourself? How does Bethel Travels distinguish itself as that one, travel agency or career consulting agency that will deliver, as expected? And also the final question is, where does Bethel Travels have an office? You need to give us your details, which means your email, your website, your social media address, and so on and so forth. How do Nigerians reach you? How do people in the UK reach you? These are the questions I have for you.
We have offices in Lagos, Nigeria. We have in Abuja. I'm going to come to that later. We have in London. We have in Dublin. We have in Toronto, Canada. We also have in Belgrade, which is and the office we have in London and in Dublin. They are not actually Better Travels. They are called Better Careers. Those are the facilitators of the searching for the job. So, but in the Better Travels office is both in Lagos, Abuja, Nairobi, Kenya, and also in Belgrade in Serbia. That's the one that champions the Nigerian company. So now, people who want to be sure about, can this be different from what other people are talking about, other people might have experienced? That's the reason why we have 4 plans. The cheapest option is there. In case you're looking for a visa sponsorship job, you don't have any skill, blah, 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 we can even do you a free CV for a start. And then you pay as small as sometimes £250, 500, £300, depends on the country you're looking for a job. £500 is the max for plan 1. And this amount is fully refundable if the team in the Western world do not find a job partnering Better Travel. So Better Careers is the job finder or job seeker or the trainers, and then Better Travel is the facilitator in Africa and Nigeria, right? So that's the cheapest option for those who might be scared. Oh, I don't want to put in 10 million naira. I don't want to put in 5 million. Just put in some 500 pounds. And if they find you the job, then they can now go into agreement with the company who will pay Better Careers for Better Travels to be paid. So all these visa sponsorship jobs that they are looking for on Plan 1, they are kind of like a recruitment arrangement whereby the company would have to pay us to get you as an applicant, right? So you are not paying the company there. So we are being paid by the company who we are going to find you for them. So we will look for the best candidates in all types of skills. That's number one. So number two is we have the second plan for those who are business people. Maybe you are worried about you don't want to do cleaning job as your friends might be doing, care work. One of the reasons why UK is closing borders today, even the EU country, because a PhD degree holder is comfortable being a train ticket person. They're getting upset about that. They don't want to see that any longer. You can't claim to be a master's degree holder in computer science, or because your salary is £2,500, you check Nigerian currency is 5 million naira, then you are comfortable being a healthcare worker all your life because you found yourself in the UK. UK don't want that any longer. They're closing borders for all of those reasons. So the plan two is if you know you have the money, you just come and then we talk about how you can pay later. That's why we have that option. But I don't want to talk much about that here. So, and we have many options that we can discuss with our clients, so you don't get too worried about or whether you're going to have money in there or out there. We have from the cheapest option, the most low options, would I say low budget options for people with low budget, for people who have budget who wants to get their businesses overseas or want to go into different properties. So we have about 4 different types. The second and third are the same. You want to establish as a business owner or as a company worker. And you can also do pay later on that option, just to guarantee you that this thing is not something to worry about. So by the time when we have a lot of people doing testimonials, which we have some people telling them, if you do a testimonial after you've gotten your job, you settle down, you're going to get a reduction of this amount of money. So we are starting and trying to help a lot of people to see how great and authentic you can be. Then the fourth option is people who need training. You need to get some training before you ever leave the country. And the training is going to be given by a Europe American company and then verifiable for you to be able to get all of these things. So we have different options that will be very useful to different categories. Talk about it. That's the cash there. If you say, oh, this one looks a bit risky for me, come on, why don't you go for the cheapest one? Why don't you go for the one you're going to pay later? And those are how we're able to marry all these things together to help our clients and those who are upcoming, trying to get themselves into a better opportunity, maybe in case if they had a bad experience in the past. That's how it works. So how to reach us is get in touch with the phone numbers for the first, and then you can also reach us on WhatsApp. The UK number is the global office where you can reach us on WhatsApp, even direct call as well for families who are abroad who wants to verify things. If you want to verify our offices, you verify us through Better Careers in UK, Ireland, or Canada. But in Africa, in Nairobi, Kenya, Lagos, and Abuja, you verify us through Better Travels offices across these 3 cities I just mentioned.
Thank you so much, Kevin. That's fantastic. And for those of you watching, you can see the details displayed on the screen. So you want to reach Bethel Travels and Career Consulting. So easy. We have the UK number and the Nigerian number displayed on the screen. And that's the way we want to wrap up today's edition of the Breakfast Express show. But before we call it a wrap, please remember to follow us on all our social media platforms. It's MITV Plus across Facebook, Instagram, and X. You can now watch us live on YouTube and MITV Plus NG. Please remember to click the like and subscribe button. And of course, that brings us to the end of the Breakfast Express show. We'd like to thank Kevin, who has been so special on our program, our guest today. We'd like to thank him for being our guest on the show. And of course, it's time for us to say our goodbyes. Okpayemi, well suited, wants to say something to you.
Well, some breaking.
Goodbyes.
The Plateau State government are relaxed the curfew from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. So we'll give you more update on that on the show tomorrow. My name is Okpayemi. Okpayemi, can I have a beautiful evening? Sorry, have a beautiful morning and enjoy the rest of your day.
This man is nocturnal. Anyway, my name is Tom Adere. Thank you for watching the program. I hope to see you again tomorrow. God bless you and have a wonderful day. It's an April Fool's Day. Have a good time.